Good morning, everybody. This is Mindy, and this is my last WIP and Chat for the Spring into Spring DP event with Kim. This is my last one. Yeah, look, I get ready to drill, and I must not have any wax in my pen, or at least not enough wax to do anything. So let's wax up here first, and then we'll get started and hopefully make some progress. So this is the last corner of my painting. It's about a fourth of it. And I need to finish this up this week. I think I can handle that. I do have some time on my hands, so I think I can get it done. Anyhow, this has been great fun doing this event with Kim. You know, I've said it a million times. I just think she is fantastic. I think she's hilarious. I love watching her videos, right? I look forward to each and every one. You guys, on Tuesday, 6:30, she's going to do a premiere. She's been doing premieres on Tuesdays at 6:30. Please go watch. Show up. Come on. Let's get a lot of people there at 6:30 to, sit and chit-chat with her, because that's a live kind of chat, pre-recorded video, but live chat. We have a lot of fun. So yeah, show up, 6:30, Tuesday. It'll be her last premiere, and then she will have a WIP and Chat. And we're at the end of this whole thing, guys. At the end, she has unboxed the prize and shown the prize, and it's really cool. Like I said, I tried to get one, but they were gone. So you guys are lucky. Yeah, you guys are lucky. Somebody will be lucky anyhow. We have pulled 2 finalists so far, and this week we will pull 2 more. She'll pull one and I'll pull one, and that's our 4 finalists, right? And then from those 4 finalists, we'll choose a grand prize winner who gets that painting and the cool diamond dots. Yeah, so comment on our videos to get a chance to be one of the finalists and the grand prize winner. But it has been so much fun. Thank you for sending in your pictures, putting them on Instagram, watching our videos, just participating in any way that you have participated. It's been fun. I look forward to her premiere on Tuesday. And then, of course, her WIP and Chat will be on Thursday. Did you see the one with the gnomes? Go big or go gnome. That was funny. I honestly have a very good friend of mine who collects gnomes. She does. I'm pretty sure she has a gnome flipping somebody off. I think she has a, what do you call them? Zombie. Some sort of a zombie gnome. So a few months ago, you guys, her father passed away. And my group of friends and I, we wanted to do something nice. And this has kind of been a tradition with my group of friends. We do living plants, so that they can have something that stays and remains, right? And the last couple people that we did this for, we did bird baths. And a nice little bird bath. One of my friends is really good. She puts them in a bird bath, puts these flowers, and makes a really nice arrangement of living, perennials that will continue to grow for years. Well, for this particular friend, we found a bird bath. You got it, with gnomes. Funny thing was, when we gave her this, she had said that she had already been looking at that one. She had seen it. She liked it. She just hadn't, bit the bullet and purchased it. So isn't that funny? Yep. So the gnome thing was pretty interesting to me. I wonder what Kim will come up with for this week. So anyhow, stay tuned at the end of my video, because at the end I will have my my winner, my finalist for the drawing. I'll put that at the end. Okay. I know what I want to cover in this video. I have a nice little list over here. I made myself a list because last time I tried to look at the pictures on my computer screen, which is, over there on the desk, and it kept shutting off, and that wasn't working. That just didn't work for me. So I did it a different way this time, and I just put a little list over here. Talk about this, then this, then this, that, yeah. Okay. That's how I'm doing it. Hopefully it works. So anyhow, spring. Let's talk about spring, because this is the Spring into Spring DP, Let's talk about spring. Kim and I both talked about the bones we had to pick with spring. Well, here's another thing with spring. In my world, at least for the last 4 or 5 years, spring means work. I don't know if that's true for you guys, but it means work in my world. My husband and I, after we got married, we wanted to buy our own home, us together, not pre-owned by one of us. You know what I mean? So we bought this house. Looked and looked and looked, months and months and months. I can't even tell you how many houses we looked at or drove by or whatever. Finally found this one. Loved everything inside. Okay, we didn't really need to change much inside, except for the master bathroom. And I got a video coming out about that because it's almost done. Done enough I can show you. So we loved everything inside. Didn't need to really change anything except a nice coat of paint in every single room to lighten it up, because this was a man's house, you guys. A man's house. Dark paints. We had antler light fixtures. Yeah. So all we really did inside was freshened everything up with paint that we liked. Took off some wallpaper and wallpaper borders in certain places. Changed out every single light fixture, I think, in the house. And made it more female friendly. Let's just say that. Female friendly. All right. So inside, we didn't do a whole lot before we moved in. Or after we moved in, honestly. The outside, though. The outside. Oh, my goodness. The outside was, every place you looked were rocks. Rocks. Everywhere. In every place that could have been a nice flower bed, rocks. All over the bank at the pond, just rocks. Filled with grass, just looking all nasty. I have said many times to many people that we live on a quarry. Seriously. There are so many rocks around here. We have played with rocks for 4 years. Moved them. Arranged them. Given them away. You name it. You'll see what I'm talking about in this video. So spring has been a time of back-breaking, hard labor. Seriously. I'll put a little video clip at the end of some of the biggest projects we did with the rocks, and you'll get an idea of exactly, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word. The magnitude. There you go. The magnitude of the rock collection around here. It's unbelievable. So stay tuned for that at the end. That'll be before the winner, the finalist. So there's good stuff at the end. If you don't want to listen to me ramble, you can, forward to the end, I guess. But anyhow, I'm going to share some of the things that we've done around here. And I say they're spring projects because that's when we start, is in the spring. As soon as the weather gets nice, we're out there doing stuff. A lot of them have continued through the summer, the whole summer as well. But, spring's when we really get going around here. So let me start with some of the first things. I'm kind of going in chronological order as to how we did things. Okay. Pretty much. And if the pictures don't match up perfectly with what I'm saying, just go with it. I'm doing my best. All right. One of the first things we started working on was the person we bought the house from was a builder by trade. That was what he did. He built this house He lived in parts of it as he built it, or lived in the garage, or lived in a trailer. I mean, it was interesting. But he built this house, built it to his liking, his, specifications and whatnot. As he continued to do his work as a builder, apparently he brought home lots and lots of scrap materials from projects he'd worked on. He decided that he would just take them out back and throw them in a big pile, and every once in a while, I guess he would try to light it on fire and burn it up. Well, problem being, tile doesn't burn. Sinks don't burn. Faucets don't burn. He seriously just threw everything that he was bringing home as scrap into this pile out back, and I don't know what the plan was at that point, but this is what we were gifted when we moved in. Yeah. That's just the main junk pile. The main junk pile, okay? There was little piles of stuff everywhere. I mean, there really was. There were lawnmowers. There were just all kinds of stuff in different piles. But this was the main trash pile. We have worked for 5 years to get rid of this trash pile, one bag at a time. We take our chicken feed bags, my daughter's horse feed bags, any kind of bag, and just one bag at a time, getting rid of it, just with our trash service. 5 years. This is where my flower garden is going to go, you guys. It is now gone. Yep, it is now gone. That pile was just unbelievable. Like I said, every week we would go out and we would scoop up, I don't know, 4 or 5 bags. Depending on how many bags we had, we'd just fill up our bags, and we could get rid of like 3 a week in our trash. It's gone. It is finally gone. That in itself is an accomplishment right there. I mean, it was kind of fun picking through it sometimes, but, I don't get it. I don't get it. Anyhow, so there was that. That was one of the first things that we started working on, just little bit by little bit, okay? And like I said, around the house, every place you could think around the house, in front of the porch, in front of the garage, beside the house, everywhere you looked was nothing but rocks, okay? There were no flowers. There was nothing like that. I think there was one nice tree, a Japanese maple, and a couple of flowering bushes. That was it. And that's where I thrive, on those plants and flowers and making things beautiful. So that's what I started doing. Here's the first one I wanted to work on, because it's right out in front of the front window. Got a nice big window, and it looks out to this little circle out front. It had a tree in it. That's where the Japanese maple is. It had the rocks around it. That was it. I mean, that was it. I don't know why there was the big circle around the tree with the rocks, if there was ever a plan to, plant things in there, but I think there was a mum. I think I did find one mum in that flower bed. It's still out there. I mean, I call it a flower bed. It wasn't at the time, but... So, pulled all these rocks out, all the big rocks. My husband helped with that. Again, like I said, back breaking. I would say another term in there, but it's, a little inappropriate. Something busting. I'll just leave it there. Anyhow, pulled all the rocks out, cleaned it up, put in landscape fabric to try to, keep the weeds down, and planted. It's turned out pretty good. I'm to the point with this one. It was one of the first things we did. I want to redo it. I put some grasses in there that I don't like. I want to take them out. But, it looks pretty nice. So that was the first thing that we worked on. That took, I don't know, several days, pulling out all the rocks, putting them all back in, anchoring the fabric down, all that stuff. So, yeah, worked on that. All right. Um, the next one I'm going to show you, that's right over by the driveway. Again, there was, okay, the rocks weren't there. The big, huge rock at the corner, that was there. That was all that was there, okay? Except for this big, ugly, gangly, wild, invasive bush. It's the bushes that grow out back in what we call the wild area. They're a honeysuckle, some kind of a weird honeysuckle. They get a pretty little flower, but they're an invasive plant. They're not supposed to be here. And they're kind of taking over the whole back. Well, that thing was growing so big, it was like hanging over the driveway, and yeah. So a buddy was over with some machinery, and he was moving some things for us and dug this bush out because it was huge. Got the bush out, and then he asked if we wanted the rock moved, the big rock, and I was like, no, 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 no. Leave that rock there. That's going to be the basis for this flower bed out here. Okay? So, again, clean it up. Then, with all the rocks that we were moving from around the house, the foundation of the house everywhere, I was able to make this nice little circle out here and start planting. Yeah. I mean, this is what it looked like, you know, when I first planted it. It's a lot more full than that now. And the bushes have gotten a lot bigger, of course. And I plant there's some perennials in there, you know, that will come back every year. And then I go through and I put in just flowers, you know, like annuals to add a little more color every year. But unfortunately this year, that's a dogwood tree. It's very small in the picture, my little dogwood. My dogwood was doing so good, getting really nice and big, and it was flowering. It's pink dogwood. And in the fall, it just kind of looked like it was dead. The leaves all turned brown before it should have, you know. And unfortunately, I think that tree has died. My heart breaks. You know, you do all this work and everything's looking beautiful and you know, things are filling in, and then it dies. I think what happened is some nice little fuzzy creature running around chewed off all the bark around the base of the trunk. And if you chew the bark off your trunk or your tree, you know, they're going to die. Yeah. So I think it's dead. We've planted 3 or 4 dogwoods in different places. 2 of them are still growing very nicely, and we've replaced one 3 times, I think. I think we're done. I think we're done trying with the dogwoods. I don't know. We're going to try something else. It has to be something that's not going to get super huge to go there, but we'll try something else. Done with the dogwood thing, okay? Yep. So, where'd we go next? Oh, I think I came to the front porch next. I don't have pictures of in front of the garage. Those kind of all came in the same spring, summer, the front porch area and the garage. Because again, look, there's nothing here. There's a bush, and that's one of those pokey bushes, like a barberry or something. And it's pokey with thorns, and that's all that was there. Rocks and a pokey bush. Well, that's very welcoming at your front door, right? Here, come to my house and see my rocks and my pokey bush. Yeah. So, tore all that out, right? Tore it all out. Took that bush out, moved that bush over by the pond. I think it's still alive. It hasn't grown much, but I think it's still alive. But it can grow over there by the pond all at once and not bother anybody. And then bought a cute little fountain, you know, bought some cute little things to spruce up the front of the house. Yeah. Looks a whole lot better. Now, if I could just keep the stupid chickens out of it, I'd be really happy. Really happy if I could keep the chickens out of it. We put up a little fence around there and they still get in. And I'm like, you guys need to stay out of my flower bed. They don't intentionally bother the plants. They dig around in the mulch to get the bugs that are underneath and inadvertently are scratching at the plants. I have some beautiful tulips in there and they are just destroying the leaves of these tulips right now. Naughty, naughty girls. I'm going to have to do something else. I think we're going to put some like netting, attach some netting to the fence so that they really can't get through because they got to stay out. I didn't put all that stuff in there and do all that work for them to come and destroy my hard work. I'm going to teach them. Anyhow, it looks really pretty. It's really neat in the summertime when the fountain's on and it just bubbles out there. I've had a dog go get a drink. The cat, the cat would go out there. Oh, my kitty cat. See her out there getting a drink out of the fountain. But yeah, it turned out pretty nice. It's one of my favorite places because of the fountain and, you know, things like that. And it's right at the front door. It needs to be pretty. Yeah. So that turned out pretty good. From there, what did we do after that? Oh, from there we moved out to the driveway. Oh, goodness. We have a circle drive, so we have 2 entrances, you know. And on each side, so that's 4 sides of the driveway, there's just piles and piles of rocks. Stay tuned at the end. I take you out there and I made a little video of what we did with all that and what it looks like now. I got some pictures, of course, but there's a video at the end. So, yeah. So many rocks, you guys. So many rocks. My sister came over 2 or 3 times and took rocks from the one pile. We decided we were going to turn those into flower beds at the end of the driveway. Inspired by some neighbors across the way at the lake. I loved what they did at the end of their driveway. So that was my inspiration. These are our double Ds. We did one year and we did one the next year. Had to move all the rocks. And some of these rocks, you guys, they are not small. They're huge. Some did not move. Some of the ones up in the corners, those were our anchor rocks and they just stayed there. We did not even attempt to move them. That's where we started the flower bed, right? Mind you, all of these rocks have been moved by my husband and I by hand using spades and shovels and pry bars and wagons and ramps and yeah. There were days that we would just come into the house and just collapse because it's so much work. But well worth it. I found some beautiful trees to put in both sides. That flower, one is a weeping redbud. Oh my goodness. It is so pretty. You guys, it is gorgeous when it blooms. It's getting its little buds right now. And I'm so excited to see it, you know, get ready to bloom. It's gorgeous. So again, hard manual labor, but it pays off. It so pays off. I think we're done moving rocks for a while. We've moved and arranged and relocated and given away, and I think the rocks are all pretty much settled in their homes now, right? I think they're settled. I don't have any plans to go gangbusters on moving more rocks anytime soon. I'm over the rock thing. So anyhow, quick picture here of another thing was our garden, our vegetable garden. It started out small and then the next year it grew and I think it's done growing. I think there's plenty of space to grow everything we need to grow in there. My husband built a big strawberry box. We need to redo it because it's been there a few years now. It's falling apart. Needs to be redone. But last year I tried to plant a good deal of my flowers in the vegetable garden because, you know, I'm testing them out. And it worked, okay. We shared flower and vegetable together. But this year, I mean, I do have some tulips in there right now because I needed to put them in the ground in the fall. But this year, as you know, I'm getting my own flower garden. My husband is actually out there currently, well, not currently, but at night after work, figuring out where it's going to go, getting some pallets because we're going to fence it in with pallets like we did the vegetable garden. It works, you know, and pallets are free. So we're roping it out, mapping it out, getting it all planned out where everything's going to go, how much space I'm going to get. Yeah. So I got things growing downstairs, you guys. I got plants. They're growing. My seeds are growing and I'm ready to get started. I mean, it's almost May. Almost May. We're almost to the time where we can plant in Michigan outside. Almost. Not quite. Because the other day it was still 30 some degrees. But we're getting close. We're getting close. It is starting to warm up some. So there's the vegetable garden. So that's, I mean, there's other things I could show you, but those are the main projects we did. And those are the ones that I could find pictures of. So without too much trouble, I could find other pictures, but that requires more digging. But anyhow, those are some of the main projects that we have done. So other things that happen in the spring. I'm just gonna like talk about them and throw some pictures in here. They may go with my words, they may not, but just enjoy what I have to show you. All right, enjoy. Okay. Ducks. Well, the first picture is ducks in our front yard. That's not the pond, it's the front yard. Yeah, I think that was last spring. We had so much rain in the spring. We literally had ponds in our front yard. And there's the ducks out in the front yard, just, you know, hanging out, swimming around in the yard. Seriously. When they weren't swimming in the yard, though, they decided it would be fun to come up on the back deck. That's my husband's fault. Totally my husband's fault because he decided it would be fun to just kind of step out there and start feeding them things. Yeah. So, you know, once you start feeding them off the back deck there, yeah, this is what happens. They come right up. I've had a chicken or two walk into the house. My husband thought it was cute. Here, let's see if we can get them to come in. Oh, they'll come in. You have food. They'll come in. Yeah. The ducks have not wandered in, but I'm sure they would if he tried. But sometimes we look out there and there's just a chicken on the deck. The ducks don't normally go up on the deck. Not these ducks, anyhow. The new ones, they tend to not come up close to the house. They're a little more skittish. But the ducks in this picture that you saw, there are like our hand-raised ducks that we had from you know, little babies. They were much more social. The ducks that we got last year, they're not. They don't really like to be around us much, where the other ducks were different. So anyhow, we do get chickens on the deck, though. They'll come up on the deck, look in the door, look in the window. Hey, what you doing? There's a little bench out there by the back porch. They like to sit on the little bench. They're funny. So there's that. Ducks, chickens, everywhere. Yep. Bunnies. We always have bunnies, you guys. This is last year's crop of bunnies. Mama has a nest out there again, same spot. Like I think I've said in another video, it's right in front of the windows, the basement. Basement's a big, long row of windows. And there's a bush, and she makes a nest there. She has one now. I'm going to try to get out there and get some video of the bunnies this year. But that's last year's crop when they got, you know, a little bit bigger. They were probably in and out of the nest at this point because they're a little bit bigger. But they're so cute, the little bunnies. Yeah. I'm going to get out there and see if we can capture the new crop. And I don't know how many litters of bunnies she has every year. I have no idea. 2, I think, at least, but could be more. Who knows? Could be more. I'm going to throw these in here. This will creep some of you out. Just turn away if you are scared of spiders. I'll warn you before you before you even see the pictures. If you don't like spiders, fast forward a minute. But these are some pretty cool shots. This, I believe, is a garden spider. I think that's what they're called. Very, very beautiful. I mean, beautiful. They also, some of these creatures are very habitual, and they return to the same places. There's often this kind of spider in the same spot out by the garage. It's at one of my flower beds, again, because not everything's flower beds around the house, of course. But yeah, there's often a spider like nest back there. You know, they make a little sack and their eggs are in it. But he's pretty cool. I mean, pretty cool. And then one night we were just walking through the yard and it was like, whoa, hang on. What in the world? You wouldn't have known it was there except for the lighting. We had a light and it was just perfect. And it was like, dang, if you wouldn't have known, you would have walked right into that, just face planted right into this cobweb, right? This spider web. But look at it. It's beautiful. I mean, it really is a work of art. The intricacy in that web was just like amazing. We caught some really good pictures of it. The lighting that evening was just, it was like dusk, you know, and it was just perfect lighting for it to show up. It was really pretty. I mean, you just have to be in awe of a creature that can do work like that, right? I know you might not like spiders, but I don't either. But these were just, I mean, they're beautiful, just beautiful things. I just had to throw those in and show them. Anyhow. Another bit of wildlife. Oh, man. This guy right here. Whew, we had issues with him for a while. That is a blue heron. Loved my pond. Loved my frogs. That guy was relentless. He would just sit out there in that pond and eat and eat and eat my frogs. I wasn't happy about that. For a while, I was able to just go out and scare him away. I'd just go out and I'd yell or, you know, whatever, and he'd fly off. But then at some point, he was hiding in these cattails. The cattails had gotten tall. He was hiding. We didn't know he was there, and he just kind of camped out. He camped out. I mean, why wouldn't he? He's got cover. He's got protection. He's got a food supply that doesn't end. He didn't go anywhere. He didn't leave. This day, my husband was out there, and he decided this guy had to go. He was going to get in there. You couldn't scare him off anymore. We figured he was so comfortable. Maybe he was too fat from all the frogs. We don't know, but he wasn't going anywhere. My husband actually went out there trudging in the water. That's how he got these shots. You guys, these aren't just zoomed in. He was actually up there, like within 4 feet of this big guy. And they're huge, you guys. They're like 4 feet tall. You know, they're huge. And he just sat there and looked at my husband like, yeah, what? What? What do you want? And he finally did get him out of there and chase him off. But, oh, so now when I see herons show up, I try to get out there like immediately and just, you know, yell at them, scare them off. Usually all I have to do is walk out there and walk near them and they take off. But this guy, man, he was insistent. He was hanging out. He got a smorgasbord right there in front of him. He wasn't going anywhere. But my husband persevered and won the battle. No one was injured. My husband included. But we got him out of there. So anyhow. And the last little bit I'm going to show you is my husband getting ready for summer, working on the tractor out in the driveway, cleaning it, cleaning the blades, you know, getting it ready, peak performance for the summer mowing season. Well, our neighbors were there. Our neighbors were hanging out. And the neighbors were like, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing there? Now, if you know anything, he might have already had the lawnmower out a few times before this. And those cows learn very quickly that my husband goes out with the lawnmower and mows the grass and mows it their direction. You know, so it goes under the fence. And that's fresh, cut, nice green grass coming their way. Oh, man, they love it. They follow him. They stalk him up and down the fence line to get this fresh green grass that he's blowing their way. So I'm certain that, you know, they're in that picture going, can you hurry up? We're ready. We're waiting for some grass. You ready? We're ready. But it was so funny. They wouldn't leave. They just kept sitting there watching him and waiting. Oh, it was hilarious. And then later, you know, he did get the tractor all souped up and he headed out and he bluegrassed their ways. So, you know, they're no dummies, right? Cows aren't any dummies. They knew what they were doing. But that's just life around here in the spring. Things that we deal with, things that we encounter, and decided to share them with you. But thanks for coming along on the journey. It's always an adventure. You just never know from day to day what might happen. So, like I said, in a minute you'll see the clip of the rock formations. I'll call them formations that we created out front with all of our mass quantities of rocks and boulders. We call some of them boulders. We joke that everyone around here, like if you go across the street to the lake properties over there, we joke that you buy a house, buy a lot, you didn't buy a house, bought a lot, and you get a complimentary boulder with it. I mean, it is a gravel pit. The lake is really a gravel pit that they would use to dig out, you know, gravel and stuff when they were putting in the highway. If you ever notice, there's lots of big water, you know, lake type things beside highways, because they use dirt and gravel. They make these big holes to get dirt and gravel as they're building the highway, and that's what becomes a gravel pit, you know. So now it's a lake. It's a lake. But every property over there, every lot over there, I think has their token boulder in the yard. We have more than one. I don't know how we got so lucky, but we have more than one. We have several, and you'll see them in just a second. Anyhow, I'm going to say goodbye here because after this, it's, you know, the video and then the drawing for the finalist. And yeah, so comment on the videos if you want. Well, no, that doesn't even matter now, does it? Let me take that back because this is the last one. There isn't another drawing after this. So there's no need to comment, but still comment. But there's not a drawing from this video. There's not a drawing from this video or Kim's video because we already have our 4 finalists at this point. Yeah, that just dawned on me. So anyhow, you guys, thanks for watching. Comment, like, share. Still post I want to see your progress on your spring paintings. Put them on Instagram. Let us see what you finished, that kind of thing. And stay tuned because there will be one final video which will be our winner, our grand prize winner that gets that pretty garden scene painting. Yeah, I'm jealous. I know I've said it before, but I am jealous. So hope you enjoy that. So for now, I'm leaving. I'm signing off, and stay tuned for the end of the video for the last little tidbits. I'll see you next time. Here is one of the flower beds that we made. It used to be a pile of rocks. It doesn't look very pretty right now because, you know, it's spring and it's time to weed and whatnot. But this was a pile of rocks, just a big pile, all the way out to, you can kind of see where the grass looks funny here. Big pile of rocks all the way out to there. We turned that into a flower bed. And then this side over here, okay, there's the flower bed. Okay, got some nice stuff in there. It'll start growing. This was rocks all the way back to, well, again, you can see where the grass is kind of changed here, right? Rocks all the way back to here, okay? We had to move all those rocks to make these 2 flower beds. That one, and then this one. They're like backwards D's, we call them. We're the DDs, you know, the double D's. Anyhow, over here is where most of those rocks went, okay? Yeah, over here is where those rocks went. We did have a friend with some big equipment bring in like that big bad boy and that one and these on the end here and then this guy down here. But we made this into a flower bed. I mean, we just piled up these rocks. We put some pots. Ooh, wow, what do we got going on there? Got a lot of grass. It's not supposed to be growing in there. The one in the middle is supposed to be there, but the others aren't. Don't know what's happening with this right here. Actually, it looks like it's growing. It's actually growing. It's got green on it. Yeah, that plant's growing. I haven't been out here yet to look at these. And then there's this one over here. So look at all these rocks. We moved all these by hand. By hand, folks. By hand. On a trailer. In a little trailer. All right? And then over here, when we finished with that flower bed planting thing, we still had more rocks. Yeah, more rocks. So we just started making a little wall. Yeah, made a wall. Mind you, these rocks have been moved by hand. Okay, by hand. Rolling. Maybe it took boards, ramps, you name it, whatever, but we did them by hand. Except for the big ones down the other end. Even like this one right here. It's pretty big. But it was moved by hand. My husband, oh my goodness, my husband, he was a champ with all this, seriously. So there's all of our rocks. This is what we did with them. Okay? And then when we ran out of room, well, now we just started putting them over here between us and the neighbor. And this just goes and goes and goes and goes all the way down like our fence line. Okay? And it just keeps going. Now there were some rocks here. There's a squirrel up in the tree. Oh, he went in the tree, you guys. He went right in the tree. He said hole and he went right in it. But yeah, this is what we have done with our rocks. Here's where the pileated woodpecker was hanging out. Look at those holes. The holes pileated woodpecker made. Yep. That's where he hangs out. Haven't seen him in a while, but... And then that squirrel went right in this tree over here. That's kind of cool. There's a hole right in the tree, and he's up in that tree. In the hole. I'll probably scare it. It doesn't look like that hole's big enough or anything to get in it, but he's in this hole. See it? It's a little hole right there, and he's right in that hole. Yeah. Anyhow, thought I'd show you guys when I say we've worked. Oh, look. My husband probably doesn't know that this has fallen. This tree right here. It's leaning into the other trees. It fell down. I'll have to tell him it broke off and it fell. It's fallen. Yeah. But see, always something to do. We have really put in some time and some effort around here. We got robins up here on the septic field. I don't know if I'll be able to get close enough to see them, but they're up here hanging out. There's a couple of them. So that's one of the things we worked on for about 4 years. We didn't do much last year, but spring means work. Okay, here's the fun part of the video. Last week, my finalist was Jill, and this week we're going to go ahead and we're going to choose my second finalist. So that will be 2 of the 4 people. that are in the running for the grand prize. So I have linked the video up here. I've gone to get the comments. There were 28 unique comments, filters out any duplicates, and we're ready to choose the next person, the next finalist. Are you ready? We hit the little button here, start, and it will go. Everybody ready? Hold your breath. Do, 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 do. And the winner is Ray Ellison. Congratulations. You're the third person. You got a good shot here. All right. So what did she say? What's her comment? Said, I think people need something else to do. Maybe diamond painting. What? You mean dressing up your farm animals and stuff like that? That's not a good use of your time? Anyhow. All right. So there you have it. Next person to be in the drawing, one of the finalists. Okay. Coming up real soon. One day this week. Today is Tuesday when I'm filming this. You'll see it on Wednesday. So we're almost at the close of the whole event. So stay tuned. Make sure you watch Kim's video on Thursday when she picks another finalist. And make sure to watch her premiere Tuesday. Well, you'll see her premiere before this. Darn. All right. Anyhow, I'm going to go now. See you guys later.